Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, his new book, which he co-authored, is called That Used to Be Us, How America Fell Behind in the World It Invented and How We Can Come Back. Please welcome back to the program, Thomas Freeman. That used to be us. There is a wistful quality to that title. You sense a midlife crisis. You sense people of girth sitting on a stoop watching young people dance.
Well, John, it does. It's a forward-looking book with a backward-looking title for a reason. Because the argument of the book is that we actually had a formula for success in this country. It goes back to Hamilton, Lincoln, and was enriched by every president we had. And it was basically built on educating our people up to and beyond whatever the technology was so they could get the most of it, on having the best infrastructure, having the best immigration policy that attracted energetic and talented immigrants, having the best rules for capital investing and preventing recklessness, and lastly, having the most government-funded research. And if you look at our history, throughout our history, that's what actually got us here, that formula for success. And the main argument of the book is we've gotten away from that formula. If you look at what's happened in the world over the last 20 years, since the end of the Cold War, there was always going to be some relative decline. China rose, India rose. So, you know, we're going to be relative to the world in a different place. The concern is that we don't have absolute decline. I mean, and I think, you know, what is the frontier going forward? What is our vision for what the country could be? We'd like America to be to the world what Cape Canaveral was to America in the 60s. What was that? That was the place we did our one moonshot, okay?
Right.
And I think America's future is being the launching pad where everyone in the world would want to come to start something. That I think that's our new place in the world.
Are you suggesting that we colonize Mars? Forget about starting something. Right. We just want to be the country that we can make stuff. I think we still innovate to a large extent, but when we innovate, those products are made elsewhere.
You know, John, it's interesting. You know, only last year did China actually overtake America as the world's biggest manufacturer in terms of total value of goods produced.
Right.
So we in China actually manufacture, in terms of value, about the same amount. Obviously, they do it with like 100 million people, and we do it with 11 million people because we're so focused on advanced manufacturing, and that's where the best jobs ultimately are going to be. But you touched on what is a challenge, and I don't think anyone has the answer yet, which is, yes, we do all this innovation here, but how do we make more of it here? Because without a blue-collar sector, you can't have a middle class.
Right.
And that's, I think, the big transition we're struggling with. How do more of these people enter a service economy and still have middle-class jobs and middle-class. We have a chapter in the book called Average is Over, which is really about that struggle. You know, I just think of, I live in D.C., but right next to Baltimore. So 50 years ago, the biggest company in Baltimore was Bethlehem Steel. So you could get a job at Bethlehem Steel, join the union, buy a house, get a mortgage, raise 2 kids, and retire and lead a very good middle-class life. The biggest employer in Baltimore today is Johns Hopkins University Medical Center. And they don't let you cut the grass there without a BA.
Oh, really?
It's, you know, I mean, that has moved up everywhere.
Right.
And that's, I think, the challenge for us. So many things are made now, John. It's not made in America and made in China. Right. I quoted Pascal Lamy, the head of the World Trade Organization, saying that it's made in the world. So part of it's done here, part of it's done there. As long as we are part of that chain, and hopefully at the higher end, at the more innovative end, then, you know, there's going to be work for the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. But if we're not part of that, you know, innovative, you know, side of the equation, that's where we're gonna lose, and that's, I think, the big challenge.
Are we at risk of that real stratification? You get the, you know, a small percentage of kind of super rich, and then just a larger unwashed struggling group.
Well, that's really what you're seeing, because what happens is the labor market gets totally stratified, and and what digitization, automation, outsourcing do is they've really collapsed all those middle jobs.
Right.
You know, and there's so many service jobs that have completely disappeared. And the question really is, you know, how do you get everyone to be starting something that makes people's lives more healthy, more secure, more comfortable, more productive, or more entertained? But we all have to do something. Everyone's above average at something.
All of a sudden, you morphed into Sherry Lewis at the very end. So I guess the question, America, is, what color is your parachute?
Right.
I'm old. All right. That Used to Be Us is on the bookshelves now. Thomas Freeman, thank you very much.